Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. I'm Harrison Graham, back with some more rumors because there's just too much going on around this team, if I'm being completely honest. Let's just get right into it. Could the Bears sign Orlando Brown? Big report dropping earlier this afternoon that the Kansas City Chiefs will not franchise tag Brown, which means he could hit the open market. This is certainly an interesting development. Now, a couple of things here. Number one, according to reports, the Chiefs still want to re-sign Orlando Brown. They do. They just want long-term certainty at left tackle. If that's not with Orlando Brown, maybe that's with someone else. So I do want to get that out there. Number two, I don't think that we should just jump to a conclusion of, well, Ryan Poles was in that front office, so they're for sure going to sign him. Do I have some interest? Yeah, I've got some interest in Orlando Brown, but let's kind of break this down a little bit further. It's definitely very interesting that Orlando Brown is not getting franchise tagged, because I think that was kind of a no-brainer for Kansas City, but they have opted to not go in that direction. So let's take a look at what Orlando Brown has done in 2 seasons with the Kansas City Chiefs since they traded for him from Baltimore a couple of years ago. Kind of been the same player both years, and as someone who watches the Chiefs quite a bit as well, he's kind of had back-to-back very similar seasons. Started both years kind of rough, picked it up mid-year, finished season strong. I thought he played really well in the Super Bowl against Philadelphia with a lot of pressure on him against that Eagles front. He was fantastic. Here's the truth about Orlando Brown. He's a good player, a really good player, but he's not reset the market at left tackle good. Now, Ryan Poles knows him from his time in Kansas City, so I think he'll have a good feel about what he thinks about Orlando Brown. But when you look at the highest paid offensive tackles in the NFL, and I know sometimes you have to overpay and this and that, I'm not paying him more than what Trent Williams makes. I'm just not going to do it. If the Chiefs, a very smart and championship organization, aren't willing to do that, why should the Bears do that? I don't think that makes sense whatsoever. Now, would I throw like $20 million a year at him? 5 years, $100 million, $60 million guaranteed? I might consider that. I don't think he's the best on-field scheme fit because he's not the best athlete in this system. You want to be more mobile, but he mauls in the run game. He's improved as a pass protector. So I'm interested. I'm just not interested in paying him $24, $25 million per year, which is what he might want to try to get on the open market. So Bears fans, let me know. Would you sign Orlando Brown if he hits free agency? Type S for sign or P for pass. Let me know down in the comment section below. Now, obviously, the offensive line is a major talking point with this team this offseason because you have to protect Justin Fields. Now, when it comes to Orlando Brown, obviously, the first question I would have is, well, what does that mean for Braxton Jones? I think what it would mean is you flip Braxton Jones to right tackle because you don't really have a right tackle right now, and then Orlando Brown plays left tackle. Now, there is a scenario where maybe you pay Orlando Brown big money and you have him play right tackle, which is where he played the first few years of his career in Baltimore, but he wanted to switch to left tackle. But I think a big reason for him wanting to switch to left was that left tackles make more money than right tackles. Well, if you pay him big-time left tackle money, maybe he doesn't care what position he plays and you put him at right. That would come down to the Bears. Do they think Braxton Jones can move to right? Are they willing to take the risk with Orlando Brown going back to right, et cetera? So that would be a team philosophical decision. But I think the most likely scenario would be if you sign Orlando Brown or really any left tackle, whether it's in the draft or free agency, probably means you move Braxton Jones to right tackle. The Bears know better than any of us if he is capable of making that switch. I would think if he's played left pretty well, should be able to play right pretty well also. All right, challenge for you guys. How many of you love the NFL draft, follow it every single year? If you do, prove it to me. Subscribe to our new NFL draft channel here at Chat Sports. We launched it during the NFL Combine and posted a bunch of NFL Draft Combine press conferences for key players at several positions, so you can go check those out. We're going to post more content over there. You might even see some Bears draft content on that channel from time to time, mock drafts, draft rumors, prospect rankings, all kinds of stuff. Go subscribe, youtube.com/chatnfl for more NFL draft coverage over there. Okay, let's get to the next rumor here. How about a Derrick Henry trade? lukewarm on this idea, but a report out there is that the Titans are shopping King Henry ahead of NFL free agency. Now, for any team that would trade for Derrick Henry, the cap hit would be $10.5 million, which really isn't that bad, right? Like, he's a undisputed top 5 running back. You could argue he's the best running back, especially as just a pure runner. I mean, he's been incredibly productive. But he's 29 years old. He's been around for a while. He was still great last year, though, man. I mean, last year was a weird year for Tennessee. Casually rushes for 1,500 yards and 13 touchdowns. Now, that first column there, 349 carries, that's kind of where I have pause. Like, he has kind of beaten Father Time so far because with how much usage he gets, at 29 years old, you would think he would slow down in production. He hasn't really yet, but at some point that's coming. Like, is that going to be this year? He's got a lot of mileage on those legs. He's also not a great scheme fit. Kind of like Orlando Brown isn't the perfect fit with his body type and athleticism at left tackle. Derrick Henry is kind of a bulldoze downhill running back, which David Montgomery kind of is too, but you're not going to give Monty big money, right? Like, he knows the personnel this team has. Derrick Henry, you want to get under center and hand him the rock, get north and south, which the Bears do some of that, of course, but they also run a lot of outside zone. Not that Henry can't get the perimeter, but he's largely an inside the tackles type of runner, and that doesn't really unleash the running game in this system. So, again, I'm not, like, opposed. Like, I would throw a 4th-round pick for Derrick Henry potentially for kind of a 1-year rental type of deal, then make a decision on his future after this year. But, again, with all the running back conversations, I just think you have bigger needs. Like, I'd probably rather bring back Montgomery for $6 million than trade a draft pick and have Henry cost $10 million. Obviously, he's a better player than Montgomery, but that's just kind of my thinking there. So I'll let you guys weigh in. Would you trade for Derrick Henry? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Catch your votes in the comments section. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball. Another free agent rumor that is around signing Bobby Okereke, the linebacker for the Colts, who's set to hit free agency. A report from Jordan Schultz is that Okereke will have a significant market and that he could command $12 to $14 million per year, which it's a pretty penny. I mean, that's like B level off, like high level B, like second tier off ball linebacker money. Like, it's not Roquan money or Devin White or, Shaq Leonard or anything like that. But it's big money. I mean, you get past $10 million a year, you're paying good money. Now, he's a high-level starter. There's no doubt about it. I mean, this past year had 150 tackles, 6 TFLs, 5 breakups, 2 forced fumbles. He's a 3-down linebacker. I'm a big fan of his game, and obviously the connection is clear. Matt Eberflus coached him from 2019 to 2021 as the Colts defensive coordinator. So this connection and this thought has been out there for a while that, Bobby Okereke to Chicago makes sense because the Bears need another linebacker to pair with Jack Sanborn. Matt Eberflus knows them, and they've got cap space to do it. So that certainly could fit the bill. Now, I would wonder, does he fill that will linebacker spot, which is what they tried to have Roquan play? I think that probably would be the case if you're going to pay him over $10 million per year. Keep Sanborn at middle linebacker, then maybe you re-sign Morrow or Joe Thomas to be your Sam, or draft someone on day 3 to help fill that spot as well, because you would still need some depth at linebacker with a ton of impending free agents. It does feel like this is very possible. I mean, Flus knows him. He appears to like him. The Bears have cap space. They need a linebacker. It makes sense, right? Like, it makes sense that Bobby Okereke to Chicago is a very real possibility. So we'll see if it happens, but I do think there's a pretty good chance that it could happen. Join the family here at Chicago Bears Now. Subscribe for what we think is pretty good Bears coverage. I'll let you guys decide that. It's free. Turn on your notifications. This is our second video of the day. If you missed our video earlier, lots of buzz around the number 1 pick and trading it. Go check out that video at the conclusion of this one. It's youtube.com/BearsNow. Don't miss any of our videos. We'll be live tomorrow on Tuesday as well. Let's get to the number 1 pick. Are the Bears going to trade that pick soon? We kind of talked a lot about that earlier with Ryan Pohl's sit-down interview with Rich Eisen, etc. With Peter King, and now Rich Eisen is saying the Bears are, quote, long down the road of trading the first overall pick. He also added this: teams have been identified, compensation is being hammered out. And sure enough, I saw Ryan Pohl say today in Peter King's Football Morning in America column saying teams kind of want to know, maybe before free agency, if they have a draft pick high enough to take a kid, talking about a quarterback. And if a team wants that quarterback, certainly this early in the process, they're going to have to pay for it. And that's kind of what Pohl's said in his sit-down with Peter King of, yeah, I'm open to trading the pick now, but you're going to have to pay a premium because it's 6 weeks before the draft. He's in no rush. He can be patient. I will say this. It is very clear to me that the Bears are going to trade the number 1 pick. I am very confident in that. A month ago, I said 65, 70%. I would put it at 90, 95. I'd be surprised if they didn't at this point. It's just a matter of when. Do you do it now before free agency to give yourself plus the team trading for the pick a more clear picture heading into free agency? Or do you hang out, you wait, you hope the price goes up, and you see what you can get leading up to the draft, maybe even on draft night? Obviously, there is risk involved there the longer you wait, but it could also make a team even more desperate to pay the house to go get that number 1 pick. So what do you guys think? Will a trade happen by Monday, the start of free agency? Type B for before then, type A for after. Kind of woke up this morning with an inkling that the pick gets traded this week. We shall see. B for before, A for after. We'll see you next time here on Bears Now.